Hey, hi, hello, how are ya? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Mark. How's getting on today? Okay, so today's episode I think is going to be a little bit different. Like I alluded to in last episode, the realm is going to be shutting down. Well, when you watch this, it's probably today. Is that right? Yes. Because, and I'll tell you why I know that, because I actually uploaded this video a day late because I'm trying to give myself more time to not have to stress and worry about how to actually put a world download onto my Xbox. It seems to be pretty easy, and I've watched a lot of videos on it, and I've read how you actually do it, but I've tried things like this in the past, and I couldn't get it to work, so I'm anticipating just my inability to actually do it, so I think this video went up a little bit late just to actually make sure that I gave myself enough time and didn't have to stress about it. I hope you can understand that, because I'm quite a stressy human being. But with that being said, today's episode is going to be different. I do think I did just say that. If I did, here's a clip. Okay, so today's episode I think is going to be a little bit different. And if I didn't say that, then you can ignore me, and I'm going to just say it now. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. Because the realm does get shut down today, and I will be working off of a world download, there is a chance that things that I build closer to the world download day might not be replicated. So I did say that last time I'd be working on in here, we'd be digging this down, we'd be making the room. But I can't think of anything worse than to actually go through that process and then find out it didn't actually work, and then I actually have to do it all again. It really depends when the world download gets made. I'm being told it gets made on the 10th, but it just for whatever reason just might not. So I'm taking all the precautions that I possibly can just to make sure that everything does stay the way it is. And I do realize as I'm saying that I'm not going to be doing anything today, I am getting rid of these rings because, well, this is easy enough to actually get rid of if it does get deleted and I have to do it again. But off camera, I did have a conversation with myself, and I have decided that in lieu of doing the towers, I'm just gonna have 4 separate builds over here, or at the very least, because over here it's kind of like the one big entity, like the big one flat plane, I might just have one large build over here and then a room under it in the center, and then just have 3 rooms under the ring. I think that kind of makes sense. I'm gonna take down all these circles, and then I'll explain to you what I want to do today. So I'm thinking that today, and hopefully it'll look cool, because if it doesn't, it won't create content. That'll be boring, and then I'll have to think of something else to film, and we don't like that. Well, at the very least, I don't like having to think of other content, because a lot of the time, I'm just not that smart. So I'm thinking that because today is technically the last day that we're going to be on the server, I'm still going to be in this world, but I just won't be actually in a Minecraft Bedrock realm, and it won't be able to have other people joining and coming to actually see my bases. I can still go to theirs because the builds will still be there, but no one else will be coming and randomly joining the server. I'm thinking we could just do a little roundup. So we are approaching episode 30. It's been about 2.5 months. There are people who are completely new to these episodes. There are people that were completely new to me just at the start of TyroCraft. I'm thinking, why don't we just go and stand in some very well-known places, like up on top of Fenrir here, for example, and why don't we try and get some before and after shots, just so we can compare what everything looked like? Because I tell you what, standing here looked a whole lot different 2.5 months ago. Like, ridiculously different. Just look at it. Also, very quick shout out to the render distance. You can actually see over to the ice. You can see the lagoon. My base is going to look incredible. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. This is one of the main reasons why I'm actually excited to have the single player, because just the draw distance on realms, it just doesn't work. Now that we're back here, you really see the contrast, and you don't really think about it when you're just in this world, do you? Because I've built everything kind of in iShot, you don't really notice how bad the render distance is. But take this for example. Let's find a good angle. We'll go right here. What do I just randomly take damage from? Because I'm taking damage from something, and I have no idea what it is. Nah, for real. If you have any idea what on my ring keeps hurting me, please let me know. So take here, for example. I'm not 1,000,000% sure, but I think that we'll be able to see the Isle of Rioja from here. But just look how different everything is. There's no Fenrir. The house is gone. This island hasn't been cut down for space that I haven't used yet. There's no Mushroom Island. All this area here is still overgrown. There's just nothing. This is just a clump of dirt and stone. The trident's gone. It is ridiculous to think that this little area has turned into what it has. But then you take here, for example. You look to the right, you've got the ice. You look to the left, you've got this little lagoon over here. Whereas what you should be seeing is this. But also being able to see the ice over there and then the lagoon over here. I guess the ring does kind of cover it, so you don't notice it that much. But you will at the very least be able to see my full logo in all its glory, kind of from here. Even though it is looking the wrong way, I still think it'll be pretty great. And then walking out of the nether portal, I've got my cool cool little nether meteorite, and then we come into our lovely little jungle, which just wasn't a thing when I first started here. This is where the house is. That's the nether portal. You've got the trident behind it, and then this is Fenrir. There's just nothing here, and I know that a lot of you have been here for the whole journey, so you have actually been seeing everything getting built from the ground up, but I really do think it is an amazing spectacle when you actually come back and you just look at where we actually started, because I did just randomly come here and just think, yeah, I can make something of this place, and I really like to think I have. And then next up is what we now know as the Isle of Ryoka. As you can clearly see, it's very different to what it is now. I personally like to think this is an upgrade. You could very easily tell me I'm wrong, but you know, I just don't think you will. All of this is completely custom terrain. The floating islands, obviously, all the different trees around here. We've got the path going over there. This island is just almost completely custom made. The shape of it kind of still follows the rules of what it was to begin with, but you know, it's just different. And in my opinion, everything that we've touched, we've made look better. I don't think there's anything that I've gone, yeah, it looked a bit cooler natural. I'm really happy with what I've built around my base. Another really interesting part of the world that I don't think I ever really fully gave enough attention to when it was actually being built was the shopping district. For example, obviously, this town hall wasn't here because this is what it looked like. We're on top of a mountain. The mountain that the town hall sits on was completely customly built. Everything around here was just torn down, but we'll get into that in just a wee second. And then especially all these buildings weren't here either, because this place wasn't hollowed out. We come up over here. This is what the shopping district looks like. There are mountains everywhere. Now, I have no idea why they picked this to be the shopping district, because as you can see, it's not exactly where you would think to put one, because, well, it's just not flat. I don't know why this was the location that was picked, but it turned out great, so you can't really fault it for that, can you? But where was my slime shop? Ah, there he is. Look at him in all his glory. Still one of the best things I ever built. I am still incredibly proud of this no matter how it turned out. But what did it look like beforehand? This is where the slime shop would be, or at very least, I'm standing exactly where I was a minute ago, but, well, about 16, well, actually, hold on, I can do the math, 14 blocks higher up. Because if I was to go down to where I actually was, you don't really get much of a view, do you? So I think, I actually have no idea. Here, it's here. Or is it here? So that's the wool shop. That's here. It's here. This right here is the hill where my slime shop is. So yeah, as you can see, the view has changed quite drastically. I didn't even fully realize just how crazy it was and how much it had actually changed. Let me see if I can find a way to do this. Where are we? I'm gonna stand here. I'm gonna build up my other world and we'll be back just like that. And yeah, this place wasn't actually anything. These builds fully came from nothing. There was just a big mountain here and then, well, we just kind of moved in. I didn't actually realize how wild the actual mountain was here. I knew it was bad because I did help take a little bit out at the very beginning, but it was just such a big task. I really can't get over just how different this place is. Anyway, let's go home. Now, this isn't where today's episode ends, but you might be wondering why I'm not actually wearing anything. And that's because something I didn't really think about until it was brought to my attention, but it kind of makes sense. So when you go from being on a realm, and if you get the actual world download yourself, everything carries over and the world remembers who you are. But is it going to be different if I'm getting a brand new world download? Will the game know who I am? And by that I mean, when I log in, am I going to sign in where I logged out, or is it going to class me as a new player? Will I not have any access to my end chest? Will my inventory be completely empty? Will my dogs still be able to be sat up and sat down by me? Worst comes to the worst, I can just nudge them into position if they can't. But from what I can tell, as far as I'm aware, I've emptied my inventory apart from the stairs because I just didn't have a place for them. And I don't really care if I lose them. I've taken out all my end chests and I've just scattered them around my house. If I log back in, if I'm the same person, it's just a case of putting them back. If I'm a different person, well, then I don't lose anything. I've got all my tools, I've got everything that I've collected over the season, and we'll be laughing. But now that I've put everything away and I've not got anything, I've got a little bit of an idea on how we can actually wrap up today. And it's going to start by eating this chorus fruit. I guess I'll see you on the other side. Wow. Huh. The temple looks a lot bigger. Oh man, genuine real OGs will remember that I used that stupid transition from when I came from my other ocean monument back home here. I basically figured that if I'm... When did I... Oh, it's for the heart. I'm remembering. Basically, I figured seeing as I can't actually build anything in the other world, and we're doing a tour of everything before and after anyway, I figured there's probably enough new people here that don't actually know where my series all started. As in the Let's Play that I've got about 50 episodes up on my channel of. And yes, I don't have any netherite armor because I was way too lazy. That's about all there is to it. But look, the original Fenrir. Look at him. Let's have a look around, shall we? So before we actually get started, I don't even know if I have a clip of it. I will try and find one. If I don't, I'm really sorry. But there used to be this glitch where on maps, sandstone and everything would just turn up grey. And in front of me, a lot of you will know that this is the actual map. It's kind of wild. It's kind of class. You'll see it in just a wee second. I'm just trying to build it up because, well, whatever glitch there was, it's been fixed. And look how amazing the temple looks from here. That has absolutely blown me away. That looks absolutely incredible. Also, yeah, for anyone wondering, this is my home. This is where it all began. We have my house here. We've got Johnny's house down here. We have the castle over here. This is my logo, except in this world. I did it with wool and I set netherrack on fire. All this desert area here used to be grass and we replaced every single block one at a time to put it all into sand. All down here is a custom coral reef that we've put in. Johnny then completely populated it with turtles. Oh man, everything here is so cool. Up there's a skull that you can see in the grass, but it's actually a candy skull, like a Dea de la Muerte skull that's done with all different flowers. This is incredible. I honestly cannot wait to show you guys. I've just been kind of wandering around off camera and I've just been enjoying myself. I've not been in this world since, well, I joined the other one, like October time. It's kind of mad. But there's the house from up. Over here, we've got my logo, which I've set on fire right beside my volcano, which is kind of cool if you ask me. I don't think I'm going to go completely in-depth about everything. So this isn't going to be a complete in-depth of like, here's every single thing that I built and everything's going to be cool. This is, at its core, just filler content because I can't build anything in the other world until I actually get the world download. So I'm just going to show you about the place. And if you want to see anything more in the future, just let me know and I'll go in depth on anything you want me to. There's a creeper. One of, I think, the last things I built was just my lovely little corridor of literature. If I do remember correctly, yeah, it's full of wise words and quotes, which that one just so happens to be Ghostbusters, so it's the wisest of them all. What's this? Well, glad there's no one around here that could possibly steal that. My lovely little bridge, the farm, the hanging building, my wee temple. I'm generally getting so much nostalgia from being here. We've got Johnny's house. We've got the Dark Souls bonfire sword. Everything's so cool. And we come down here. Actually, I've already put it in the video. You have just seen it, but I could have just done this. I didn't realize this hadn't updated. So this is what, for some reason, the temple used to look like. The sandstone would be gray and it wouldn't texture in the glass. But then you pop it off and you can very clearly see what it's meant to look like. Because that, to me, looks a whole hell of a lot better. And if you disagree, I ain't got nothing to say to you. You're just wrong. My lovely little desert house. The really, really cool banner that I've made. Who are you? It's Picasso! I love naming my cat stuff that I can't remember what they're called. Honestly, one of the best things about this place. My lovely little oasis. I see, this bridge is very, very similar to the one I made in there. So I've done that before. You know, I take it all back. I'm class at making bridges. What am I taking damage from? Did I swing really far out and take damage from my cactus? My lovely little fountain, my lovely little garden, Johnny Bones. Yeah, my own stupidity. Can't fully remember what it was, but I absolutely know that I am to blame. I've just left shulkers all about the place. Nether stuff. Garden stuff. Lovely. Mob farm that doesn't work. Little village. The not original floating islands. The original is there, and these are the floating islands that I designed. Well, not designed. They're very similar to the ones that are actually in the other world, except these are closer together, so I was able to join them up with like a bridge. Whereas the other ones are kind of standalone, and that's why I've not done it standalone. The other ones are kind of separate, so it's a lot harder to just build on the little platform. Because I was trying to think to myself, why did it seem like such a task? Because there wasn't any room. And it's because like there isn't, because here, as you can see, there's two different ones, so that's why it seems like a lot more. We've got my ship. We've got the crew quarters. Is Lara still here? Lara is still here. We've got Von Croy's diary. We've got all the plunder. This was a really stupid idea that I'm honestly incredibly proud of how it turned out. We will get to the temple in just a wee second. It's kind of the best thing that I've done, so I mean, we'll save that for last. We've got my statues. And then over here is the last project that I was working on before I actually joined the realm. So these do look just like arbitrary holes in the ground. From up here, have a good look at Shamu over there. Turtle Beach, the Ferris wheel. We've got a greenhouse. The view from up here is sick. That's not why we're up here. The dots were a TNT contraption that exploded into this rather large heart. And I was in the process of filling all the little bits of the heart in with different biomes. So I'm probably going to change the whole area around to be something accommodating for it. And it was all going to be kind of great. And also up here, you can fully see that this is just man-made and it just properly doesn't blend incredibly well, but doesn't also look terrible. Or at the very least, that's definitely what I tell myself. Right, who have we got? Dimitri, Santiago. Yeah, that sounds about right. So here's my temple. Up there is kind of mad. They've all got their own custom flags. In here we should have... Oh, I can remember. You're Guy Manuel, so that must mean you're Tomas. Tomas. I'm Guy Manuel. I'm such a good cat owner. Look at the floor. We have 4 different little void effects that go down somewhere. This place is kind of mad. This has taken a very long time to actually make. If you would like to see the construction of it, I have all the episodes of it up on my channel. Now, which one goes down? I'm pretty sure it's the red. So where does it go? Well, it comes down into my mirrored room, of course, which is kind of... It's not exactly helped by the fact that llama spawned down there, but there's not really much I can do about that. They're a bit of a nuisance. We've got the treasure map. We have the mural that I still think is one of the funniest and best things I've ever created. Honestly, it's amazing. Over here was just a standard design because I just had to actually test that all this worked before I put everything else in. Here is the light design that I wanted to go for. And when I say wanted to, I still very clearly do. However, that section there is 1/8 of the place and it took me like 4 hours. That's ludicrous. And then here's my throne. So that's pretty much it for today's episode. This was just meant to be kind of a mishmash and a wee before and after of the other world, and then just a quick showcase of everything else that I've done for the new people that might have not seen it before. I think this world is cool enough that it does deserve to be shown off from time to time. Now, obviously this episode has gone up a day late, but that was by design, like I said at the beginning. I need to try and find the way of how to get the world download onto my Xbox so I can go back to recording. It should be easy, but just because of who I am as a person, nothing ever really is. So hopefully the next episode will be out on time, but if it isn't, it's purely probably just down to the fact that I don't know how you put the world downloads in the Xbox, and it's taking some trial and error. I hope you can give me some leeway. I hope you're not too disappointed if you don't see the next episode for maybe an extra day or two. It definitely shouldn't be a day or two, but I really don't want to try and stress myself out, because if I can't do it, getting stressed and then thinking that everybody's really dependent on me, that's not going to help anyone, is it? If you have still enjoyed today's weird episode, please feel free to leave a like. They help get my videos noticed. I can see that you're still wanting to support me even if the videos are completely different from time to time. They make me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. So really, it's a win-win-win. And to be honest, what more could you ask for? Why did I say that so weirdly? You can also subscribe to my channel completely for free. You get to see more builds like I've done in here. You'll see where I go with the other world. There might be some completely different content coming out at some points. Honestly, at this point, I have no idea, but you should still subscribe anyway. That would be kind of cool of you. I also at some point would actually like to hit more than 1,000 subs, so I mean, if you tell your mum, tell your dog, tell your cats, yes, you, Gizmo and Simba, you should subscribe to my channel. Together, we can actually make me think that people like me. Ow! Ow. So having said that, and with that being said, I hope you stay out of trouble, you don't do anything I wouldn't do, and I'll see yous laters.